Namaste, Kavita.
Namaste.
Hello, nice to see you.
Same here. Nice to see you, Narada.
Yeah, so we thought to have a little call to introduce you as a guide for PURNAM for upcoming trips. And also I would be interested to hear a bit of the situation in India at the moment, especially for you. So how are you, Kavita?
First of all, thank you for taking your time for doing this interview. And yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I like in health wise, I'm in the mountains right now. I'm happy here. And as you know, I love mountains and I always wanted to live here. And it is something like you can say that for my work from past 1 year there's no work in the tourism industry, so it's been a hard hit on me right now for this thing. But yeah, for my personal growth I had enough time to had some yoga in my schedule and adding some meditation into my schedule, learning new things for myself. So that was pretty good. And as I realized that this is a good time that to work on my real dream, or you can say my real project, this is a good time that I got this free time, and then I really focused on that. And now I'm proceeding towards it as I'm in mountains, and let's
What is
see
it,
how.
your real dream you are working on?
I think I have told you that before, and it was like when I started this mountaineering profession after my corporate life. So, one thing I saw here is the hardship of the mountains, and people who are living here, they have a very tough life comparing to the city people. I'm not saying that like the people who live in the city, they don't do any hard work. They also do hard work, but here they kind in the mountains they have more kind of a physical hardships. And also life is quite simple here. The basic thing is that to have a good house to live, a warm place to stay, and just the food to eat, and some things to finance yourself. So not too much of lavish things and all in the mountains. So I like that simplicity, and I saw the women here. So they work the whole day, starting from the morning to the evening, up till they go to bed. So I really liked one thing about them, that we are training ourselves for mountaineering, for climbing the mountains and everything. But they are the born mountaineers here. Their everyday work is like this. But the thing they lack in is they don't have exposure. Maybe you can say that they don't have that kind of knowledge because of education or other things. So I really want to provide something that creates a financial support to them, plus the medical facility, because it's quite tough here in the mountains to give a medical facility in emergencies here. And education first, like that is also important, because getting educated is important for younger kids here. Maybe they can decide their future later on, that what they want to do, and maybe they can build a better future for themselves and their family. So that was the whole thing. And I recently get to know about the hemp cultivation in the mountains. That is quite like getting popular now, but it has less marketing. So I always wanted to live a sustainable life, and now I'm proceeding towards this thing, that I will include this hemp cultivation in my project, so that the villagers can also be a part of it. And maybe in future we can have a sustainable system here. And with my experience from guiding and climbing and all, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a group of women who can work together and climb the mountains together.
Oh, you're frozen again.
Oh
I
god.
hope you were frozen, but you're back. So
Okay,
you're,
so is it fine?
yeah,
Are
it's
we, are we,
fine again. Yeah, it's
okay.
just a short cut.
Okay, so to resume that, I wanted to create a group of women and who are interested into climbing and hosting guests, and they can take groups just like me. So they have a career in this thing which they already know. uh, I just have to tell them how to be with the guest, and how to have some like techniques and all. So maybe we will, if I get good work in this period, maybe I'll provide them some discounted fees on the trainings that we get in institutes, so I can help them in that way also, so they can get a certification for their trainings, and then they can also be a tour guide just like me.
Yeah. Oh, nice ideas.
Yeah.
So we
So
met.
what about you?
Hmm?
I was just wanted to add that what about you? What you have planned for the next coming years?
Yeah. So as you know, we can't travel here, especially to Asia, and this is my main passion, and also where I make my living with
Yeah.
trips to India, especially. So at the moment, I'm quite well sustained by the state. So I receive money for the period of the shutdown, and as soon as we can travel again, I will start again to travel. And I'm very happy that the state of Germany helped me so well to survive with my little business. Yeah, and I planned a few new trips, as you know, also some new trip with you. Yeah, like we met almost 1.5 years ago. We
Yes.
were in contact, and via one common friend, we've met and already did 2 trips together.
Yeah.
And it was so nice that we were to work together, that we plan to do a few more things, which I will
Yeah.
show later. But first, I would like to ask you a bit more about you. I mean, you're living in Manali now, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So it's like an ancient hill station.
Yeah.
How is life there?
Uh, Pretty much. Actually, Manali is kind of a tourist spot. A lot of people come here for seeing snow, and there are a lot of adventure activities go around this place. This place is quite old, but you can say that the nearby villages, they were the most you can say older in, if you we are saying the period of the time. Manali came into existence when people thought that yes, this can be a place to live. Otherwise, in the mountains, people first prefer to stay away from the river, and Manali is quite near to the river, so it is because of to generate tourism. And one thing that I saw here is that quite is different from the other mountain places where I have visited. It's like the Britishers who have explored the mountains quite well, the beautiful places. And this place was left, they couldn't reach here to explore this. If you go to, from here, when you go to Ladakh also, because this is the place from where you travel to Ladakh. So if you travel to that place also, there you cannot see any things that have created by Britishers. So, but if you go to Uttarakhand, and even in Dharamshala and other places, there you can say that yeah, Britishers have reached up till that part. So they have explored that area, and that's why you cannot say you cannot see the old that kind of architecture here, which is from the English, but we can see the main cultural architecture here, which has been created by the people. And a lot of mixed communities live here. You can say from the Himachal, people from Lahore, that is a nearest valley here.
So
People,
Himachal is the state in
yes,
northern West India which you're living in, and
yes.
Lahore is one part, one region in this state. Huh?
You can say it's a district. Like we divide the state into different districts, and we can like I see Kashmiri people also here. People from Kashmir, they also come here to work because it's a good place for generating tourism business. So a lot of hotels are here, and new things are coming up here. But the villages that are far from Manali, they need these kind of support. So you can say that like we can see old architecture still existing here, like the old temples and old houses, and people are quite stick to their culture in this area. They perform all the ceremonies and everything, which I see that has been going away from the mountain people, because as they are also proceeding towards the modern life and they want to like get easy life more. So that is good, but you should perform your what I feel is that we should perform our cultural things. We should give it to our coming generation too. We should pass it on.
You
And
have also a Buddhist culture in Manali, or is it just higher up the mountains?
no, a lot of Buddhist culture here, a lot of
Ah.
Buddhist. You can see like just like you can say in Dharamshala, like the
Mhm.
whole place is because of Dalai Lama, it's a holy place. And here also you can see a lot of monasteries and Buddhist people. Even the place I'm living here right now is my landlord is Buddhist. She's like they are also Buddhist. So I bit to know about a lot about this culture because I have friends here who are Buddhist. So you can say that these people have a lot of how can I say, like they have a lot of houses here. The people who have came from Lahore to sit
And are
here.
that mainly like Tibetan refugees, or are that people who are since centuries originated in that area?
We have like
Mhm.
both here. We have Nepali people also here. We have Tibetan refugees also here. People who are actually originated here in this place. So mostly most of the people who even live in Lahore, they are mostly Buddhist, and they even their ancestors have been migrated from Tibetan borders or China borders. So you cannot say that they have been actually originated from this place, but
There were independent kingdoms in the before the
yeah,
British ruled, and
yeah,
they were more connected, I think, to Tibet than to India.
yeah. So they used to trade like tradings and all, the stuff and food stuff and clothing stuff. They used to do trading and all with all these mountain passes. And then they decided to stay here. So,
I'm so much looking forward. Next year, we're intend to go there with a group.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Ladakh
uh,
and all these areas.
yeah, we planned this trip, and let's see when it comes to existence right now here. But there is one more culture you can see here, that is Kulvi culture. That is actually the main Himachali culture, you can say, of this place. That is Kulvi. So that you can see a lot here, and those are actually originated people from here.
Uh-huh.
Those are not just, they are different, but they are also nice, and they have also some traditions and customs here that I can see.
Hmm.
So, and you have must heard that apples are very famous here. Uh,
Yeah,
so
and there's a special kind of marijuana also coming from Manali.
oh, that's actually a very you can say a funny story in this area. Actually, not Manali, but you can say Parvati Valley. It's a
Aha.
very adjacent to this, and it's behind this mountain where I am right now. So it the route to that valley connects it's a diversion before, I think, 40 kilometers before Manali, and then you go towards Parvati Valley. So there is the village, most of the famous villages like Malana village and Kasol. So there you get that famous marijuana that is has
I
been
know
like
that
what.
from my past life. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah. So
So
how does the pandemic situation affect your daily life? I mean, you don't have foreign tourists there, of course, and also Indian tourists are much less than usual, so you cannot make money as you used to the last years. That's obvious, but how does it affect you up in the mountains?
Um, Actually, when I was in my hometown, and that is Haridwar, so there I spent the lockdown up till the month of September, because I had no choice to, like, I have to be there at that place. I cannot travel. So I was hoping that it will get better, and we were hoping that up till the end of October, and you were also hoping that thing, because we had a plan of the trip and that got cancelled. So but it then I took this decision to come here, and I was hoping, in hope of this thing, that if I come here and I start something, a small place here to offer this for solo travelers, or maybe a backpacking place, maybe with extra of 1 or 2 rooms, then I can start earning something, maybe with the domestic tourism, because government has taken off all the bans from traveling. First, what they did is, for up till October, there was complete ban of, like, you cannot roam around any of the other state. But after October, they allowed to travel you on your business purposes or on any other urgency. Then when I shifted here in October end, then it was okay, but then government has took off all the ban on tourism for domestic people. They can travel to all these hilly areas, because Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, these have very low number of cases, and then the tourism, and these both states have the most, you can say, the income from tourism, because both of the places are mountain places, and they earn a lot of money through tourism in the summer season and the winter season. But this year this doesn't happen, so the government of, like, the state government took this decision to take off all the bans, and they can have tourists all over the state, wherever they want to go, without any kind of negative report of COVID or any other restrictions. You just have to wear the mask, keep the sanitizer with you, and you have to maintain the social distancing.
No.
So these were the things, and I thought that for 6 months, for 7 months, I had no work, and a few of my trips got cancelled, which were planned for this year. And there was few things that, you can say, like, these were like company financial things, that some gave some booking amount to me. I think I told you this issue before. And what happened, that I have to book the hotels in the mountain for those people, and those hotels cannot refund me the money, but the people wanted the money. So first I tried to have a conversation with them to finish this at that point, but then they really wanted to have that surety that yes, we have, like, we can get our money and all. So I gave them vouchers and all, whatever that, and that time was quite hard for me. So I thought that why not try this thing, because maybe I can make some little business here with offering my place to other travelers, and then I can earn. So I came here, and I looked for a place. So where I'm staying, it is fine. I can call people here, but still it is quite risky, you can say, because the virus has been spreading a lot. As you know, that we don't have vaccine shots here right now for everyone. Tourism is okay here now. After we had a lockdown in Manali also for 15 days, and we had a curfew for after 9 o'clock in the night to up till the morning time. But they took it off on 31st of December, when there was New Year, and we had a lot of tourism here, only the domestic people.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, because people wants to see snow, and I think everyone is getting bored in at houses for a longer period of time. So now they want to get out of the house and they want to see snow and everything. So I can see a lot of crowd from the nearby states. You can say Punjab and uh, even Haryana and Uttarakhand also. So people, Uttar Pradesh. So all these states which are very nearby to Manali, to Himachal, people are traveling here.
Hmm.
But it is risky for now to take trips because these people have like they are taking zero precautions for the virus, you can say.
And then they come
Nobody,
by train and sit all together in the train, and they can
they
get.
come by their own vehicle or taxi, and now the bus service has also started. So we don't have a train up till here. We have a train up till Chandigarh, that is a
Hmm.
midpoint after traveling to Manali, and then they come by taxis and all. And it is a risky situation for the people who are living here and working here. So I'm hoping to get, that these people should get the vaccine as soon as possible so that everyone is safe in this area.
Yeah, that I was wondering about. I just read a few days ago that India is planning a huge campaign for vaccination. Like they want to vaccine 300 million people in half a year.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
they really
Also,
start, and is it going quick? How is it?
yeah, and I think they need it. Like India needs this thing. We have a huge population, and that what like in the lockdown, a crazy violence happened with people
Yeah,
because of food and
especially the poor people who don't have who homes, like who work far
yeah,
away from their
yeah,
villages. Yeah.
and
Hmm.
they cannot return back to home because all the transport was locked and everything. So and I saw this thing that those people were the most you can say strong, the immunity, because even if they were in the crowds and everything, there was less cases of those kind of people who got infected. The most people were like the middle class people who were have some finances also and staying at home and also. So also the people who are in a higher scale in financial wise, you can say, those people were also get infected, and but they had a very quick treatment, and they were taking care of everything. They don't need to go to the hospitals or anything. Everything was with them at home. So I would say that people, even for Indians, I think everyone have this same thinking that even if money doesn't matter in this pandemic, but for India, yes, if you're financially strong, you can overcome all these kind of pandemics and all, because you
Yeah,
will create your.
in the Western countries, we have the same problem that
True.
you can see it in the US that all the black people and poor people are much more affected than rich people who are more healthy and
Yeah.
who can afford good medical treatments.
And then they don't have to go to the healthcare department or public hospitals to get all these kind of medicines and all. There are number of cases, and I heard rumors, and also I was scared to go even to the hospital for in this situation. Even we get something like a normal flu or some other injury or something, we avoided to go to the hospitals as maximum as possible because there are no people to attend you. They have already filled with COVID cases. So that's what the condition of this thing. But as now I see India is like my area at least, and I feel now it's getting better. Things are getting normal at pace now. They are coming normal. I know we had a lot of trouble financially and everything, and this is just me. uh,
Mm.
you know it was quite good for me, and you also helped me in this situation because I know you got me one guy whom I can work for a website development, and I was designing website as a freelancer. So I got that client, and I had something for myself in that period, and I could do this thing. But when I think about the people who just know guiding and they don't have any other profession,
Yeah.
so I really felt bad for those people that, there is nothing that we can support him.
Yeah.
And there was a time, I think, that came into our mind that, maybe we should think about second business options too, because tourism is always dependent on these kind of things. So, yeah. I think that is the same with everyone. Everyone is thinking the same thing, that if something next happens, anything like this, then we should have another options of earning too.
Yeah. And Kavita, you grew up in the holy city of Haridwar,
Yeah.
and you told me that you even went to an ashram school.
Yes, yes, yes.
How was it to grow up in such? It's one of the four big holy cities in India, and I must say, I love Haridwar. It's
Yeah.
so many temples, and the holy river is like the divine mother flowing
Yes.
between the mountains, and so many pilgrims from all over India coming there. And yeah, and now you left.
It was actually good up till my childhood. It was good, but I loved Haridwar. It's nothing that I don't love living there, uh, but it's just that I have my heart in the mountains, so I came here. And yes, Haridwar is completely spiritual place, and you can just feel it in the air, in the vibe of that place. Uh, because people far away from around the country, even around the world, people come there to see the Ganges and the beauty of the place with the Ganges. So yeah, you can see the mountains all together and old historic things at that place. We have those cultural and spiritual stories for every place that has been there. I know you know everything about that place a lot. You have traveled, so it was quite crazy for me in the childhood. We used to play. I used to live very near to the Ganges when I was a child, and we used to play near the Ganges all the time, taking a dip, swimming in the river, and it was fun. But as I grew older for my college and everything, I went away from the house, and yeah, but it is always inside me that the water from the river is so pure that it can, you know, that is the faith we have. It's just water, but we have this faith that if we keep that water inside our house, then everything will be fine.
Mhm.
So I always carry a bottle of Ganga water with me. We call it Ganga Jal, and I always keep it in my temple. And whenever like I have, a prayer or anything in the morning, I sprinkle all that water in the house on myself to purify myself, to have good
Yeah.
thoughts. So I think that is the thing that I take with me whenever I go away from Haridwar, and that I learned basically from my childhood, that I have to respect that is the, you can say, the source of life, that is Ganga. So that water is,
When I came to India first time, I
yeah,
was thinking, oh, it's just a river, and further down the mountains, when you go to the big cities, it's
yeah,
going so dirty. And I was just thinking, oh, what is this? It's just a river. But then I was sitting on the river having a meditation, and
yes,
I experienced that there's really something special on this river. And
yeah.
since these days, I really believe that it's a very special manifestation of something divine. So I can understand that you what you're saying. Yeah.
And the most amazing thing is when we see the Ganga Aarti in the evening, even if with the crowded space like this, where you don't have a space even to sit, but when for all that things, after when the Aarti actually starts, you can connect yourself to the goddess. You can say that even we are saying it in the name of goddess, but I think everyone feels that energy. around us, that yes, there is some positive energy that is flowing around us. And felt really good when I had these experiences with your trip when I was the guide 2 times, and it was really lovely sitting with all the people there and enjoying the Ganga Aarti. Once we
And
saw
to
it,
see how they experience it, huh?
yeah.
Hmm. And let's talk about these trips we did together. Like
Yes, yes,
we did one trip in the Himalayas.
yeah,
We had a group of 16 people.
yes,
Actually, to my feeling, it was a bit too much. Now I
yeah,
don't want to have more than 14 people. So because that's like a break. It's more than 14. It is too big.
too
I
big. And
feeling. I mean, it was nice, but I think it's better to have the group like not too big. So, but we
yeah,
were 16 people, and 3 weeks we've been up to the mountains, and yeah, we are offering that again in this year,
yeah,
hopefully, touch wood,
yes,
in October.
yeah.
So yeah, we go to Badrinath again. What can you say about Badrinath?
Okay. I think you know a lot about Badrinath, but I will share my thoughts on that place. It is one of the Char Dhams, Chota Char Dham, you can say, the small Char Dhams, which are the famous pilgrims of India. And it has a very spiritual meaning behind it, because it's believed, it's quite a long story for how Kedarnath and Badrinath. Oh, okay. How Kedarnath and Badrinath are formed. So for Badrinath, it is the pilgrim of the Lord Vishnu, and people pray there for Lord Vishnu. And if you say about Kedarnath, here there is the people which are praying for Lord Shiva. So it was an old tale that it says that there was one priest who used to go to both of the temples for praying. And one day, what happened that he went to Kedarnath temple first, and then he ate something before going to Badrinath temple. And then Lord Vishnu got angry, and he just put a wall in between, that is like a mountain. He put a complete mountain in between of those of the temple. So he wanted like you can say that he wanted to punish the priest or something like that. And then now is the time that we have two different priests, one for Kedarnath and one for Badrinath. And it is from the same family that now they are passing it to the generations which are coming next. And it's always that same person from the same family.
And these
That
are all the priests. They come all from Kerala, from
Yes, they come
more
from the,
than 3,000 kilometers away.
yeah. And they stay there for 6 months. This only opens for 6 months, and it get closed for the winter time, and it is completely filled with snow for winter time. So what they do is they take what do you call, for the idol of the god, to not the exact idol, but you can say that they say that in the winter time they move it to some place closer to Badrinath or to Kedarnath, and they live there for 6 months, and the priest pray for them there. But those are the priests not from south, they are from in the mountains only. So the priests from the south, they come only for 6 months. And yeah, what else I can say about that place? We have the hot spring there in Badrinath. Also, not in Kedarnath, but in Badrinath we have a hot spring. So people who feel a lot of cold, and they have pain in their joints or body aches and all. So it is believed that you should take a bath in that hot spring water, and then you go to
How's
the
the
temple.
name of that hot spring?
Tapt Kund. It's
No,
called
it's
Tapt Kund.
Narada Kund, isn't it?
Yeah, for the guys, it's Narada Kund.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for the ladies, it's Taptkund. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, Tapt Kund is hot spring water, a pond. Kund is pond. So, and Tapt is when it is boiling hot. But they have made it different sections for boys and men
Yeah.
and women. So,
Oh, I was there inside of that hot pool. That was
yeah,
amazing. It was like 38, 39 degrees, like
yeah.
really hot, but very nice. And
But it's relaxing. Yeah.
yeah. So, and when we do the next trip, we plan to also
Yes.
to go to Kedarnath,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
tough trek up there. And
Yes.
because we don't know which people are joining, we decided one very special thing. You want to tell it?
No, I think you should tell it.
Yeah, we go by helicopter there.
Yes.
Yeah. So you manage it. It's amazingly cheap according to what we
Yeah.
pay for. We cannot afford a helicopter here, but in India
Mhm.
for us it's okay. And the trek would be more than 18 kilometers and higher
Yeah.
than 3,000 meters. So it would be probably too tough for some guests.
Yes,
So we
definitely.
decided to just easily go by helicopter there. I'm so looking forward to this.
Yeah, and the trek
Amazing.
for the whole day get converted into a 15 minutes ride. And when you go by helicopter, you see a beautiful view of the mountain. Plus, you see the first glimpse of the temple from the top. And it is so beautiful. When I remember when I went there in my childhood, and after that, I went there 3 years ago. So, okay, I think
You're
you can
back
see me.
again.
Yeah, yeah, sorry. So, 3 years ago when I went there, and I went there with the helicopter because my mother was with me and she cannot trek. So I was crying the whole time when I saw the temple. It was so beautiful, and
Yeah.
it is just in the lap of, you can say, that snow-capped mountains everywhere. The whole big mountains are surrounds the temple, and it is quite amazing. You can actually feel everywhere that energy that it is there. That why this temple is here, and
Hmm.
so
And
I
is
think
there any
the
danger with the helicopter? Or you think they're
no.
well maintained or
They are well maintained, and
okay.
because they go frequent up and down all the time, and they always check with the weather. If the weather is little bit cloudy, they stop it. They don't move it, and even yeah, this can happen that when you go there, and because in Kedarnath weather changes very frequent. So if it gets cloudy after reaching you there, and we sometimes people go and they just return back on the same day. So if it is like weather is getting cloudy, then there is a possibility that you might have to stay near the temple for the night, and then you have to go back tomorrow morning or when the weather clears. So or like you can walk if you are that capable that you can walk. The trail is always open to walk, so they can walk also.
Yeah.
So
But
and
usually we are very lucky with the weather when we are
yes,
trip together. Yeah.
we had always amazing weather with the whenever we have the trip. Even in the January one, we never experienced any kind of rain or anything. There was a fog, but yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
And with the October one, I loved the weather. In Badrinath, we have sunny days. In Gopeshwar also, we had sunny days. So
Yeah. So that's
and
the one trip we already did together.
yeah.
What you want to say something?
I wanted to add one new thing that has been created in Kedarnath, that is a meditation cave. So it has been built near the temple on a mountain, and you have to walk a little bit for that. I think 1 or 2 kilometers to reach that cave, and only one person can go inside at one time. And there is a bed, and you can stay there. One person can actually stay there for the night also, if that person wants to, meditate and all. So that is one thing that has been created by our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi,
Yeah, he's going
because
a lot to these temples.
yes, he actually believes in Lord Shiva a lot, and because he spent 3 years in near Kedarnath before he was the president, prime minister. So he
Yeah.
has a lot of emotional attachment to that place, and yeah, that's why he is spending a lot of money for making it more feasible for people to travel. It's been like people are saying now that. Soon there will be electric cars that will be going up to the mountain on the trail where we walk. So like small cars, like you can say one or two people can sit in that. Like you see the mini cars in golf course or something
Mm-hmm,
like that.
mm-hmm.
I think these kind of cars, but they will be, electrical, or they will be like eco-friendly, so they don't harm the environment of the mountain. So I think that is a pretty nice thing also to do, and that will reduce the pony and mule thing in the trail, because they create a lot of trouble for the travelers while traveling to the mountains. So that is a nice initiative. So let's see when this comes up,
Yeah.
and we can see this thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and also we organized another trip to the area next to Kedarnath and Badrinath, which
Yeah.
is the Gangotri area.
Oh,
Yeah, and we organized a trip for ladies, which I'm not joining. And you're doing this with our friend Brigitta.
yes, yes,
She's from
yes.
Switzerland, and she joined our last trip to Badrinath. And so you're doing this with her together. And
Yes.
you've been plenty of times to Gangotri, yeah?
Yes, I've been there for the trek up
Mm.
till Gomukh. That is the glacier, the source of the Ganga River. And I've been ahead of that because we wanted to climb a mountain in that range. And we went there to plan our itinerary. Wanted to plan our trip. So, how to climb. So, that was like the more far I went from Gomukh, that the glacier. And it's a place called Tapovan, and then you reach Vasukital, so that is also far away from that place. But why I'm telling you this is that in Uttarakhand, it is famous for some technical peaks to climb. So, and most of the famous peaks which you can heard in like in the name of these mountains, holy mountains and everything. So all of those kind of mountains, all those ranges are in Gangotri range. So you can see a beautiful line of mountain in front of you with the view, near Gomukh. All the famous temples, all the famous mountains are there. So that place is really close to me also, because it's the source of Ganga, and less explored place. Now, like the tourists are traveling a lot towards the Gomukh region to, see that source of Ganga, the glacier. But before, I think 5 or 6 years, or even you can say, okay, to taking a broader experience, maybe a 10 years. 10 years ago, there was not a lot of tourism in that area, in Gangotri and Yamunotri both. But now, after these 10 years, now we can experience a lot of tourists and travelers there, because now we have explored a lot of trails, smaller treks and all. So I like that area, and the trail is very beautiful to Gomukh, because it's not very you can say very tough trek to do. It is a moderate trek. It is longer, 13-14 kilometers trek. But when you reach the glacier, that is a beautiful view, to see that
Mhm.
Ganga is coming out of it, and it is quite beautiful. The glacier is very beautiful. So I must say that that place is very real, like close to every person who is living in the mountains or who respects Ganga. So
and we planned it that the altitude is increasing step by step, so
Yes.
that nobody has to be afraid of getting sick of altitude.
Yeah.
And
And
we didn't
like,
point out that we didn't point out that you are a professional mountain guide. Huh? You can you tell us about your training?
yeah. Um, I did my training in 2015, first, the basic course, when I left my corporate job. And my idea was that I always love to travel in the mountains. So I wanted to do a professional course in this, and I wanted to see that if I can go take it as a profession. Uh, I must say that people who wanted to travel to the mountains or who wants to trek, they should do this basic course of mountaineering, because this changes you a lot. This that actually changes your perspective of seeing things and all. So I did my basic course from Manali, and there's an institute Avimas, and then I did my advanced course from HMI, that is in Darjeeling, that is another state, West Bengal, if you know about that. And the most of the training in that place is done in Sikkim. And that institute is actually quite old, and it has been found from the person who climbed the Everest first time,
You
Tenzing
didn't
Norgay.
tell me that you're well known to that area.
Really?
Yeah, we should organize a trip there.
Yeah, we can do that actually.
Yeah,
There is one famous, actually, Gangtok is a place, and there's a lot of monasteries and very beautiful place,
yeah, I
Sikkim.
know.
Yeah.
I, I was thinking, oh, that would be a nice area to do a trip, but I didn't know
Yeah.
that you are familiar to this.
Yeah, it's like you have a high altitude pass which you can reach by road. That is Nathula Pass, and it's around 17,000 feet. I think it in meters it's around 4,500 meters, and the pass is at that height, and you can reach there by road. So it is quite beautiful. A lot of monasteries, and Darjeeling is famous for tea. You can see all the tea states and
Yeah,
all.
we know that. And there's a
So it
famous train also going in Darjeeling.
Yes, the toy train.
Yeah,
Darjeeling has a very beautiful toy train, actually. Yeah, we can experience that also. Yeah, we can plan a trip towards that
let's
area.
think about that. Yeah.
And
So
you see the sleeping Buddha in that range. It feels like the Buddha is sleeping with the mountains when you see it.
ah. So we
Yeah.
were this ladies' trip. The idea was especially to visit some Devi temples, so from the Divine Mother. So
Yes.
you visit Gangotri as the source of Ganga and the place where Ganga Ma is housed,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
Yamunotri, which is the place where the holy river of Yamuna is starting, and then
Yeah.
there is a few other nice Devi temples you visit.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So on the way we can visit these Devi temples, and it would be nice that you have this idea to organize a trip like this, and this actually goes well with my idea of creating a team. So let's see up till that time if I have that team ready with me. So you can have a team of women organizers with you, and it would be fun to see that too. And I wish that it will be nice. Yeah, we have the trek also, we have the resting days, and we have good sight and scenes on the way. So the trip is quite good planned, so
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
but thing is, at the moment, nobody books any holidays.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm in one group in the internet
Mm-hmm.
where like travel agents from Germany, they're having big exchanges and they're all complaining that nobody is planning anything now, just very low
Yeah.
percentage. So we have to hope that things are changing and like yeah, if India and Germany proceeds with vaccination, then it will be
Yes.
possible. We still hope.
I think for India, it would be soon that we would be because they have already, announced this thing. So I think soon it will be a good thing here in India.
Hmm.
But I don't know, for traveling to India, that would be easy. But the people who are here, I don't know how we can manage that. I think that soon it will, because India needs to grow their economy, and first thing is tourism. They can do it. So they are earning through pharmacies also, because now they have made this vaccine. But if they have a good boom on the tourism, then I think the economy can rise again,
Yeah.
because it is a good for them
I
thing.
think they will reopen as quick as possible and force the tourism to work.
Yeah. They actually wanted to. I don't know if you have heard that the mutated virus came here with some of the people who came from England, and they found those people. There were 600 cases for that, and they found those people, and then they sent someone back, some of them back, and who were the people who were living here. Then they put them in quarantine and all. So it was a quite and quick, action they took, and in a very good time, because there were 600 people, so they could have spread it a lot. So that was nice that they trailed them down, and now like we are safe with that mutated virus. So we
Mm.
don't have that in here in India. But yes, the other one is still going on. Now I'm hoping good for this thing, but let's see, like, because as now I see the domestic tourism here, which the problem what I am facing right now is that a lot of treks and a lot of trips are organized for to domestic people, but there is a problem with the competitive prices, because just like me, there are so many people who are unemployed for last year. So they have crossed down their prices, so such like low prices, that I have no competition to give them on this thing. And
Yeah.
the people who are traveling right now are those who are actually belonging to the middle class family, just like us, that they have low wages to earn. And so they cannot spend much more money on some high. They wanted a trip in lower prices.
Yeah.
The people who spend money are actually are maybe traveling on their own or staying inside the house. They are still worried about the virus until they get the
Mm.
vaccine. So I think it will take another 2-3 months to get settled this thing, and I'm hoping for the best thing to come.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm hoping that my previous trips, the way they were, they get resumed, and then I don't have to worry about sustaining my life through this thing, and I can just focus on the project that I really want to work on that.
Yeah.
And because I know that this project will take a lot of hard work and a lot of time to someday to overcome, and I really want that we both can be a part of it as a team, because you also love India. And one thing I loved in your trip was that I learned to meditate. I never meditated before.
Yeah.
I did my
Yeah,
school
you told
time.
me that you really, through the Western people who are interested in your culture, you got
Yes.
another view upon your culture, and now you're getting more spiritual.
It was so amazing to see that the people who have no idea about this thing and who have just read it in books or seen it in movies, they are experiencing it so beautifully and respecting it. Even Indians do that, but still, the one thing I miss here is they don't have that respect for this thing, that okay, we have this thing, and this have such great meaning.
Yeah.
So when I see the people you travel with, they have so much of respect in their heart for our culture, and it actually it makes me proud that I'm an Indian, and
Yeah.
it
Nice.
really feels, yeah. So that's a nice realization I did, and I started meditation with the trips you had, and I really loved it. It
Yes.
reminded me of the childhood times when I used to meditate in the school time, and we never used to get it because in the child your mind it's so much in so many things. But yeah, it was nice, and I still practice it here, and I feel good. I feel good
Okay.
after meditation. Yeah.
Yeah,
That is one thing I received from your group and I loved it.
very nice.
Yeah.
So let's proceed a bit with the trips we planned.
Yes.
So we have these two Himalayan trips coming up this year. The ladies' trip to the Devi temples and Gangotri is coming in September and October. We're
Yeah.
doing the mixed group, which I'm joining also. We go to the
Ladakh.
Himalayas up to
Yeah.
also, which is the other highlight. It's one is Badrinath and Kedarnath, but there also
Yes.
we go to Tungnath, which is the
Yeah.
highest Shiva temple, and we go to the peak, which is up to 4,000 meters,
Yeah.
which is an amazing
Chan-
place. Hmm?
yeah. That's called Chandrashila Peak.
Yes, yes, up a
Yes.
bit higher than Tungnath.
Yeah.
And another trip we are doing is the Easter pilgrimage. Where is it? Oh yeah, the North India Eastern pilgrimage trip, which
Yeah.
goes from the holy city of Amritsar
Amritsar.
to
Yes.
Rishikesh, which is when you see it on the map. I have it here. One
Yeah.
second, it's just coming. The map. You see India, and we go from the west, which is almost to the on the border side of Pakistan, yeah,
Yes.
which is
Yeah.
not a dangerous area. You can see here Jammu and Kashmir. That's the
Yeah.
area where sometimes problems are with terrorists. But down here in Amritsar, there's not
There
any
is
danger. So this
not.
is the holy city for the Sikh people.
Yes.
And from there we go on the foothills of the Himalaya
Yeah.
down to your hometown, Haridwar.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Your all trips, you always take them to Haridwar.
yeah, because it's not too far from Delhi and it's easy to reach, and I love it.
And yeah, and I think spiritually also it is good to end your trip there after completing everything, and then you are ending it and they can see the river Ganga also. So it is something that it is a nice thing to do.
Yeah, and as
I
you see
really like
on the map,
itinerary.
uh,
Yes.
we will go to Dharamshala, which is
Yes.
the place where His Holiness the Dalai Lama is
It lives.
residing,
Yeah.
and there are many Tibetan temples. You also have been there?
Yeah, I've lived there for 6 months,
Oh, really?
and yeah. So I don't know. We were planning a trek first to Triund, I think, and we have an option of giving them the people that we can trek also, or they can stay and they can visit the monastery nearby or the temple, and that is a nice thing. The people who are fit, they can trek, and it's good. Dharamshala is actually nice. They can see the temple and the view. The view is very nice, and the timing we are visiting there. So I think that won't be too cold for the people to to actually enjoy the mountain. So it
Yeah.
would be, and the marketplace is also good. They can see a lot of Buddhist culture there, a lot of elements of Buddhism. So it's nice. It's a nice place to visit.
Yeah, and the
And
thing I am most looking forward on is to
yeah.
go by the little toy train at Shimla to Kalka.
Yeah.
I love these ancient trains in some
Yes.
mountain areas in India you can have. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit slow, but you can see the small turns and everything, and yeah, it's quite old. It has been built by the British time, so it is. I think it's nice to experience that, and they can actually see the development in the mountains. And Shimla is also beautiful. We can experience the toy train from there, and yeah, what can I see? There are small stations in between that that gives you a very nice feeling when you see that, because just look exactly like a small station with small fencing all around, and you're sitting in the toy trains with less people, less crowded. So it's good. It's much better to travel with the toy train than with the road, with all the construction and everything. Then when you see it from the old ways, when the train goes up and you see small stations, and less people travel in toy train, so we will have that, what you can say, that serenity for ourselves for the toy train. So
Yeah, and
it's
the route which we are following, we
yeah.
we took this because there are so many like holy places and special temples on the way, which I'm also very curious about. And yeah, and this is why I'm much looking forward to this trip also, which is coming Easter time in 2020, which is still more than a year to go, but I'm very happy about it. And
Yes.
see, we take time in each place. We were not hurrying with our trips because we want to dive a bit into the places. Like we have a whole day where we take time for the Golden Temple in Amritsar, and we have a few days where we can enjoy the scenery around Dharamsala.
And in Golden Temple, I think if it is a possibility that they can actually experience the biggest kitchen in the India to experience.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. Have you been there?
Yes,
Yeah.
like I have been there multiple times. I studied in Punjab, so we used to go there a lot.
Yeah. And they're
Yeah.
cooking for like 100,000 people a day.
Yes, millions of people.
It's
Yes.
just crazy.
It's crazy. And the system, when you see the system, that how fast it works and how they deliver food to all the people, it is beautiful.
Well,
So
we've both went together in Delhi to the
yes,
Sikh
yes.
temple. They only cook for 20,000 people a day, but was that was already crazy. They have like
But that was already crazy, and they had so much of cleanliness and everything.
yes.
You saw that it was so hygienic inside. You cannot feel that 20,000 like people they have been cooking for all these people. So there was
All
no.
perfectly clean. Yeah.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that thing actually. I
Usually
really enjoyed.
Usually I tell the people to not look into kitchens in India. To just pretend there is nothing and not look inside of the kitchen.
Oh,
I mean, the food is amazing and it's fresh and cooked and there's no danger, but
yeah, but you don't
better
want to
not
look
look in the.
inside. That happens in most of the restaurants when we travel and we stop by at any restaurant we don't know. So we cannot take the risk to see inside the kitchen because once we see the kitchen, we cannot eat, right?
Yeah, yeah, but there's no danger. We go to places where many people eat and then it's everything fresh and yeah, we never had
Yeah,
problems with sick
because,
people.
like I always recommend you places which I have been already tested on myself or on like my travelers and all. So it's always safe to
Yeah.
take food from there. And yes, there are places which creates a mess, but I think in our trip we never experienced any kind of food related issue so
Yeah,
far.
maybe
Whenever we,
except me, the Himalaya trip. I was sick.
yeah,
I don't know why, but like about 2 days, I was really sick. Um,
yeah.
but I think it was some kind of virus I took.
It was some kind of a virus, or maybe you felt cold that time because it was a
Yeah,
cold time, and maybe it was just because of your traveling, you got exhausted or like you were tired. So,
yeah,
because already you were tired, so you got affected with this thing. The rest of the group was fine, and
yeah,
it was. I think like food related problem in my trips also I've never faced any kind of food related problem, and I think you tell your travelers a lot about it. They don't eat raw food
yeah,
just out on the plate, always eat cooked, and it is nice. You always take water that is filtered. So
yeah.
these kind of small precautions you take, and these are nice.
So yeah, you see here the schedule. We see some like holy
Yeah.
places on the way. The Mazrur, how you say the temples inside of the rocks which are not far from Dharamsala. They're like 1,200 years old.
Yes, yes, yes. The Kangra Fort and
yeah, and then Shimla, it's like an ancient hill station. Yeah,
yes,
also from the British, there are lots of buildings which are
yeah.
in colonial style, and it's a very nice village to walk around. And then there's this toy train, almost 100 kilometers we go with the toy train. I'm really looking forward. And then we are in Rishikesh a few days, and
Yes.
also see your hometown Haridwar. I hope that we go again to that restaurant next to your parents' place.
Yes.
That was
I know you
amazing.
love that restaurant. You know, let's see if we can try the another branch of that restaurant that is very near to the place Harki Pauri, where we see the Aarti.
Yeah,
If that is less crowd that time, depending on the crowd of the situation, we'll try the another branch of that place too. Yeah,
yeah.
I will
If it's the
take
same
you there.
quality, because I mean, Indian food for us vegetarians is always like, amazing, but there are a
Yeah.
few differences. And this place, the spices are so well balanced. Yeah, it's really.
Yes. And you love it, I know. You like that thali. You never order anything else, just the thali.
Yeah, because there you have the mix of different tastes always. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the
I
trip,
think,
mhm.
yeah, I was just saying that you should have a photo, or I should send you the photo of that thali too.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
Do you get
the
it there in your place? Do you
sorry?
have Indian restaurants there in your place
Yeah,
nearby?
actually 200 meters from my place.
Oh, wow.
But my wife doesn't like Indian food at all.
Oh, oh,
So very rarely I can enjoy Indian food here. I cook
okay.
myself sometimes, make chutneys myself. And
Wow.
I have an Indian steam cooker.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah, to make dal. I love Indian dal, and I cook myself
Uh,
Indian food.
you make dal there at your
Yes,
house?
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
wow. That's nice.
yeah. I
That's lovely.
love it. Yeah, and also I have Indian spices. Sometimes I buy them in India, but also
Mhm.
here in the city, there are many Indian people, like engineers, working here, and so you have Indian supermarkets here.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
get Indian spices also. Sometimes special vegetarians I buy, like the bitter gourd. Sometimes I
Okay.
buy. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
prepare myself a bit of Indian style food.
And how is the pricing? Like, is it expensive there to buy Indian food or
It's about the same pricing as regular food also here.
okay.
Yeah,
But
I
compared
mean,
to India, buy spices here and when you buy spices there in Germany?
yeah, you cannot really compare Indian and German prices because we have a completely different system of taxing and
Mm.
other costs. So things are cost like 8 times more here than in India,
Oh
or
God.
5 times more, because it's all taxed so high.
Yeah.
Yeah? And this is why you cannot compare. I mean,
Yeah.
if I tell you how much money people are making here with simple jobs, yeah, then it sounds so much more than in India, but you cannot buy so much more for that money.
Yeah.
Everything is much more expensive.
So it's almost the same thing as living here and buying
Yeah, about.
and as
And for us, of course, when we go to India, it's like we feel like a rich man. Even I'm just I don't make much money, but in India, I have the feeling I can afford everything because
yeah.
for us it's cheaper then, but it's just because
Mm.
it's a very completely different taxing system.
Yeah. Because like in this scenario, you can travel a lot with the countries which have lower currency rate than yours.
Yeah.
Then travel a lot.
I
That's
have
the
the privilege of being born here in the West, but yeah, but here yeah, in India I can pretend being a rich guy, but here I'm one of the poor guys.
yeah. You can buy a car here, but you can think like you can say that okay, I'm a rich guy. I can afford good food, good hotel to stay,
Yeah.
good place to roam around. Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely that
So
happens.
that one trip I'm most looking forward for
Yeah.
next year, 2020, is the trip we're going to Ladakh. So also to the
Oh,
area where you live.
oh,
Yeah, I will see some pictures here. So this
yeah,
is the Golden Temple. We start also at the Golden Temple in Amritsar because
yeah,
it's easy to reach. There's an international airport.
yeah.
Yeah, and from there we go some part by train and then by car up to the mountains. And um, Manali, yeah, is like the hill station on the foothills of the
Yeah.
higher Himalayas, and there's this dry, this high altitude desert up there,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is just amazing. Like you see the pictures here. I mean, you know the
Beautiful.
pictures, of course. You've been there. Yeah, you have these amazing lakes and Tibetan culture, and
Yes.
then you have this unbelievable um, monasteries.
When
There's the oldest monastery in all over India we're going to visit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They are beautiful, actually. You can see the old architecture inside of them. And Ladakh is very similar. Like it's beautiful to experience it. And the people there, everyone is so nice. Yeah.
Yeah, and there
And you,
hmm?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a really high altitude trip. We're
It's a
going.
really high trip, yes. And I think the picture you are showing right now is Pangong Lake.
Yeah,
And
the Salt Lake up there. Hmm.
yeah, and the other part of the lake touches the China border. So, so it's actually a very nice place to visit. This is
Yeah.
very, yeah. And yeah, if you have love of momos and thukpa, all the Tibetan food, then it's a very beautiful place to visit. You can
Yeah.
experience different kind of cuisine there. Yes.
Momos, for the people who don't know momos, it's the
Yeah.
Tibetan kind of Maultäschle. Maultäschle, it's a German thing, a South German thing. It's quite the same as momos, with just a different filling.
Okay. Like, yeah, whenever I have to explain, I say a dumpling when you
Yeah.
have some stuff inside of. Yeah. So I really like momos. Even in Manali, you find a lot of Tibetan food. So I really like momos and I make it myself now also. I've
Oh,
learned somehow to manage it. But yes, for the Ladakh trip, they will actually have a different, they can have taste of throughout all the states they are visiting. First, they are going Amritsar, then they can have the Punjabi food, which is actually quite rich in spices and very, you can say, tasty, which is good for your taste buds. And then they move towards the Ramshala and what's the itinerary of this trip which we are having?
we go to from Amritsar to Dharamshala, and from
Yes, yes,
Dharamshala to Manali, and then up to the higher mountains.
yes. So we can have experience of all these places of like food. So that's the best thing in your trip that I like, that we experience different kind of food items also. So a traveler, they experience everything, the
Yeah,
spiritual concept of India, plus the landscapes, secondly the food, and uh, also the people. When they meet the people there and they interact with them, they can see the difference in how they talk and how they behave. So they can experience all this. And India is, India is all about diversity. We have so much of different cultures, even in small distances. So I think that's good, the way you plan the itinerary. I really like it.
yeah. And also this itinerary is like we plan that we go step by step higher and higher
Yeah.
to get used to the higher altitude, and that
Yes.
nobody gets any problems. And
Yeah.
usually the way we planned it for people who are like healthy, yeah, it should be no problem, even for older
Mm.
people. So if you're able to walk 15 kilometers and yeah, feel good, then it should be no problem.
Yeah, 15 kilometers, if you have seen, like you have said, such a long distance. If I say when I plan my treks, I always ask them when they are coming to Himalayas that if they can complete 5 kilometers in 30 minutes, normal walk, not at a high altitude, 4 or 5 kilometers in 30 minutes. That can, if they can do this, then they are quite fit. And yes, you're right that when we are taking smaller altitudes and we are rising it to the higher altitude, so it gives our body some time to acclimatize according to the environment, to the altitude. And it's always nice that because we have so much of rest in between at all the altitudes, that our body will get accustomed to that thing. And when we reach Manali, we have enough time to rest here, and then we go towards to Ladakh, and then we are resting in between also after crossing the high passes. So it's I think it's quite safe, and
Yeah. By the way,
we want.
you're in Manali now. You can show us the mountains outside of your window, just for
Yeah, sure, sure. I can show you some good mountains here,
yeah.
which I can see from
And
my window.
maybe we can have a look on your dog, but let's see the
Yeah,
mountains first. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, now it's getting
So
cloudy. 1 hour ago, it
yeah,
wasn't so cloudy.
yeah, it's getting cloudy. So this is the place where I live. Is in front of the main Manali. So if you can see that across me, you can see a small town in front. That is the main market of Manali, and I will show you that. That is Friendship Peak. That is quite famous here. Can you show? Can you see it? This one
Yes,
in
yeah,
the
the
middle,
snow peak
behind the
in the
tower.
backside where the cable is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, maybe if it is not too much, I will show you outside. And I'll go outside also.
Okay.
So I made a little house for my dog, and he is inside right
Oh,
now. Buddy, buddy, buddy. I think Narada, you have met him in the house when he
no.
was small.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. Ah, yeah, it's
buddy,
parents' place.
buddy. He
When we've
wants to
been
look outside the window. That's.
when we've been to your parents' place, there you
Yes,
saw
yes,
this.
you
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
him,
yeah.
and he was quite small that time. Okay, okay. So I think from here you can see a good view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so this is my locality where I live right now. And I'm planning to move soon with the, let's see, when I get the old Himachali house, I really want a house in the village. So whenever I get it, then
Yeah.
I'll move there and I'll start my project. So I'm waiting for good times. And also one thing I want to show you, maybe, wait, if it is okay.
Yeah.
So this is the oven or the fireplace that I
Yeah.
bought with your help when you sent the money. It is actually second, it's a used one, but I fixed it here somehow and I made this sitting area to sit.
Yeah. Good. And you're cooking also on that?
Yeah, yeah, I cook food also in this, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's quite good for this place. It keeps me warm, and thanks to you, I built this thing,
Yeah, I'm
installed this
happy
thing
that I
here.
could help you keeping warm.
Yeah.
Okay, so one last trip
Yes.
we planned, like the trip we did already, um, through the holy places of northern India.
Yeah.
So we did this just before the pandemic in January
Yeah.
2020, 1 year ago. I think exactly 1 year ago.
Yes,
We
one
flew
year
to
ago. Yeah.
Varanasi, didn't we?
Can you
So
see?
I did plan that again.
Yeah.
So this trip we go to the holy city of Varanasi, and we include also 4 other holy places like Haridwar and
Yeah.
Rishikesh, which
Yeah.
we talked about already. The 2 holy places on the foothills of the Himalayas. Then we
Yes.
go to Vrindavan, which is
Yeah.
the place of Sri Krishna, where he used to live in his early years.
Yeah.
And that was for me the most impressive place in India, where I got such profound and deep meditations, Bodh Gaya, where Lord Buddha used to sit under the tree. We go there. And also, the city of Varanasi.
Yes. Yes. I actually had a very nice time on this trip, and few of the places were the first time I'm visiting with you, I think. So the one was Bodh Gaya. I never visited that place. I visited with you, and as in a person who's living here, and we have this thing here, and I've never experienced it. So it was a present to me from your side that I really loved that place, and I meditated there because I've started that time. And I think with me, and I asked few of our travelers this thing, with the people who were with us that time, that what did you feel under that tree when we were meditating? So there was a few common answers. There was the one thing that if you remember, there were priests who were chanting all the time when we were in that circumference of that temple. So that created some kind of an ambience that, you know, you were going in that deep thoughts, or you were, I don't know, but the felt like everyone felt in that moment. But the whole energy of that temple was amazing. It was like I have never experienced this thing ever before. So
Yeah.
both Gaya is, yes, and the place where we stayed, the place was also very nice. So very cozy rooms, and it was nice.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
especially the place in Bodh Gaya, where we've been to that
exactly.
Kundu
Yeah,
Bazaar guest house, which I really
yeah,
recommend. And they
yeah.
have this very nice rooftop restaurant.
Yes.
That was very
Yeah, we
nice.
did yoga also last, like in the trip. We used to have yoga classes there in the morning or in the
Yeah.
evening. Yeah, so it was quite beautiful. And Varanasi, it's, what should I say? This is like, this was also one of the places that I visited first time, and it was nice to experience such ancient and historic place.
Yeah.
Shivanand Ashram, and
Yeah, that
that
was
is all.
Shivananda Ashram in Rishikesh.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and this time I extended the days a little bit. So
Oh,
the trip we did in January, it was, I think, we did it in 17 days. And
mm-hmm.
now I extended it up to, I think, 20 days. So that
Wow.
we have a bit more time to enjoy the places, especially, Rishikesh and Haridwar.
Yeah, I think Shivanand Ashram is a place where a person can spend the whole day meditating, chanting, and looking at the place around. So I think it's a very beautiful place. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Paramat Niketan, right?
Yes, that's
And
right on the opposite side of Shivananda Ashram.
yes, yes,
And
yes.
here you see the scenery of the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah,
And in the back, you see Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva.
It's like
Yes,
a 3 or 4 meters high statue there.
yeah.
Yeah. And in Varanasi, we also found a very nice place to stay, which is an ashram
Yes,
on the
yes.
Ganga. with an amazing view and a
Oh.
quiet place. And it was amazing to stay there, is it?
And there was no one else in the whole ashram when we were staying there, right?
Yeah, and it's
And
like a 5 minutes walk, and you're in the middle of Asighat, where
yeah,
the life is pulsating. Yeah,
right. And in the morning or in the night, when you see from the terrace, there was like a view that you can see the whole curve of the ghats that
yeah,
is on the river bank, and that was really beautiful. What I felt, and Varanasi is something like I really felt good because it was so ancient and so old stories in that place about our culture, and it was nice to see all those small corridors when we have to cross and we reach to some other place by walk. There were so many small what do you passages
yeah.
when we from one place to another, and it is nice, the all of houses and the ancient temples which has been like extracting from inside dig deep into uh, the land, and it is like the place we saw with all those temples
Yeah.
that has been inside the house for so many years. So I think that is something that a person should actually witness for Indian culture. The
Yeah.
Varanasi is one of the places that I should say that a person should visit. Yeah.
And the one thing about this trip was very special, that we did most of it by train, and we did like I think 2,500 kilometers traveling by train, mainly
Yeah.
night trains.
Yes.
And people in the West, they always have in mind this crowded trains where the people are sitting on the rooftop of the train. But that's mainly happening in Bangladesh and in big cities, but not
Yeah.
not the trains we take. In India, is like the trains are much bigger than in Germany, and
Yeah.
every passenger has his own place. So you reserve your own place in the train, and there's plenty of space. So we have
Yeah. It's much more sophisticated for you people to
yes,
travel trains.
yeah. I mean, the trains are older than in Germany, but much more comfortable.
Yeah.
And the food was amazing. You managed to order food from a restaurant, which they
Yes.
brought into the train. That-
Actually, when I thought that we will be having the train food, because I know I've traveled all my childhood in train so much, and I never liked the food in the train. So what they do is they make it and they keep it in the fridge. And but as now we are after COVID, we are thinking that like there's been a rules in the ministry of this railway that the food quality will be improved,
Mhm.
and there are a lot of complaints for this thing. So I'm also hoping that yes, some of the trains will provide good food, because the last train we took when we went back to Delhi, that was a very nice train. So it's the fastest train of India. So
Yeah,
I think that I
Satata Express.
yes, yes. So that was a nice one. So you see, the food quality in that train was not bad. It was
Mhm.
good. So I think in other trains also it will come, and it will take some time. But that's why I didn't want my fellow travelers to have that such big bad experience on the food. So I insisted you to like we can order food from outside. So I think that was good, and I think people enjoyed staying in trains with
Yeah, I mean, we
they
had
love.
this ukulele, and then we made
Yeah.
some music, and we had plenty of time to talk. And every like 30 minutes, some guy came along with chai, chai, and you can buy chai for like 10 rupees each.
Yes, yeah, it
And
was.
yeah, we just enjoyed. Yeah.
Yeah, it was lovely. Train journeys are also good, and I think people were like that was good. That I saw some people who were very scared when they started the journey with us, And when they were in the train and they met other Indian people apart from me, uh, they have this ability to talk to them, and they actually communicated with them, and they were quite comfortable at the end of the journey. So that was quite nice to see that transition from the first day to the last day, that how
Yeah.
comfortable they were traveling. So it was good.
And both the trips we did together, we had such a nice group. I'm still in contact to some people of both groups,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was really special.
Yeah, I actually did a trip with Maria after our trip.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I told you we did a trek in the mountains, and she loved it. She wanted to have that trekking feeling, and she did that, and she loved it. So it was nice to see a person who is traveling far away from the country and trusting me because of you, and trusting herself so much that she stayed at my home for 2 days and experienced that. So I think it was really nice because these two trips we had such a great connection with our travelers. And I don't know, I couldn't understand them because they were all in German. When you take their when you tell them about philosophy of our culture. But yeah, I think the reviews they have given me after that were really nice, that
You
because
received some private lessons.
no, but I really like the way the everyone believe in this thing, that yes, these are the story and they want to know about it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a nice exposure for everyone to have traveling plus knowledge and everything. So it's nice. Yeah, I really like this thing about your trip.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
take
that's
good care
that's
of
my idea of traveling. Yeah, that on the one hand
Yeah,
we dive deep into the culture and get in contact to people and see places where no Westerners go. And on the other hand, my idea is to give inspiration and to help to just open minds and
yeah,
to think differently about the world and other cultures and yeah, also about philosophy.
yes. And you have such good connection to those places where you have already visited. You always make good connection with those people. So what I have seen in your trips with that they really respect you whenever you arrive. And the people you always see, you never see that you always see their heart, that how they are working with their heart. Like the guide we met in Varanasi, Raju, he is also a nice guy. So I liked him, the way he treated every one of our traveler. He was so helpful. And also other people which you like, the hotel people and all this, which are like your regular places wherever you visit. So these are nice actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
coming to the end, I also want to
yeah.
say something nice about you. So what I'm very impressed about is that you are like India is such a patriarchy system. Like it's so male dominant,
Yeah.
and it's so great to see how you as a like you see like you look like a small shy lady, but you're so strong, and you how you are dealing with this man's world in India, how tough you are like behaving when you're traveling with a group and try to get the best out of it. And it's just like also what all the group members said, it's just yeah, nice to see how you're dealing with the situation. And yeah, it's like an impression for women empowerment,
Thank you.
which is
Thank
great.
you. That actually means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it comes to me when all this power comes to me when I have people like you around me, that who are my well wishers and who think good about me.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to say it in English, but I think I can just tell it like this, that yeah, when you have good thoughts or positive thoughts in your mind, then good things will come to you, right?
Yeah, they call it
So
karma.
karma. Yeah, so I think we both met, and we built this strong connection, and I really like this, that we have our future planning of these trips and everything together. And I really like working with you. So like I'm really looking forward to resume our treks and trips again, you know.
Good. Me too. I'm very happy. Looking forward for our next trip. We don't know what the situation brings with the new
Yeah.
mutations and everything. I mean, now is 25th of January. We
Yeah.
hope for the best and that we can do the planned trips in
Yeah.
the end of this year, but we never know. And if not,
Hopefully.
we do it next
Yeah.
year.
I wish we can meet this year, and I wish I can host you in my house in the mountains. I would really love. You are invited anytime, whenever you can get a visa and you can come.
Yeah.
So even if there is no trip, you can come to me and you can stay here with my in my house. So
Thank
you're
you.
welcome always. You have a house in the mountains.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kavita, thank you so much for
Thank
this
you very much.
interview. I think it's
Yes.
interesting for the people to hear a bit of your life in India and your thoughts and your plans. And yeah, thank you.
You please share this with me too, so that I also have this thing with me. Yeah.
I will do.
Thank you very much.
So
Yeah.
we
Thank you for your time. And you thought that I am this capable that I can talk to you about all these trips and all. You took this initiative for having a conversation like this. And it really means a lot to me that
yeah. I
you
know you
think
can
about me
talk,
this hard
so
time.
yeah, and you didn't, nobody recognized that you're nervous.
Thank you. Okay. Namaste. Take care. Take care of
So,
your health and for your family. Bye bye. Good
bye.
luck. Yeah.